YouTube family. Today I wanted to talk about what manipulation looks like from a narcissist. No matter if they are being covert about their manipulation or they're very obvious about their manipulation, it is somehow very mesmerizing to those who are being manipulated, to those who've fallen into their spell. They will continue to allow this narcissist to come back again and again until the narcissist eventually just destroys themselves or destroys the relationship or destroys their victim. And in this case, I wanted to talk about Jodi Arias, who in 2008 ruthlessly murdered her boyfriend after having a night of passion with him. I mean, it's so disgusting. The police did find videos, pictures that they had taken during their night, right, of passion. And the next morning, you'll see, or it might have happened that later that night, she actually had took a picture where you could see her figure in his eyes. So just moments, they said, before she killed him. This is not really a person I wanted to cover in any of my videos, but a viewer had requested that I do a video on her. This is a horrible, nasty, evil person that somehow is able, not just somehow, we know that manipulators like her, narcissists, sociopaths, can completely fool people. They can act like angels and in front of some people and then just horrible devils with others. So those who had seen the devil side of her, I feel so sorry for her because it's just terrorizing. But those who've only seen the angel side of her believe it. But there's this interview with her ex-cellmate that I wanted to show you guys a little bit of, just so you can see a little bit of an inside look of how she manipulates people, not just through threats, but through angelic behavior, but also through acting innocent and like a victim, and also sexually, how she entices them and pulls them into this emotional affair with her. So you'll get a little bit of a glimpse of that.
She's one of the most ruthless killers of our time. Jodi Arias stabbed her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander, 27 times and then shot him in a bloody rampage.
That's just a very brief background of what she had done, but apparently they had this torrid affair, or love affair. It was like a whirlwind, of course, as it always is with narcissists. I think they were together for 5 months and then they broke up, and he tried to get her away from him, but she would not let him go. She would stalk him and she would show up wherever he was, and what I understand, she also moved to be closer to him when he moved. And she would show up all the time at his door. He even told his friends that, don't be surprised if you find me murdered. And sure enough, that's how they found him. It's just so horrible. I really hate covering this, but I wanted to show you that manipulators, narcissists, they can do this. They can turn their character on and off. And she manipulated him into this incredible sexual relationship that even he couldn't resist, apparently, right? Because he kept letting her come back into his life, kept letting her into his life sexually for, I think it was a year after they'd even broken up. And even when he had moved on with another girlfriend, she was still showing up to have sex with him. And that's what happened the night she attacked him.
Arias also admitted to stalking her ex-boyfriend in his backyard.
She said she would lie awake in bushes and watch him.
That's her ex-cellmate who gave this interview that I'm giving you little clips of, but I'm also going to attach the link to that interview. It's very short. It's like under 4 minutes. But she talks about how Arias would stalk him unabashedly. But what I'm trying to show here also is that she was so crazy, psychotic, and he knew this about her. And yet she was able to pull him back in every time. She did all the manipulations that narcissists and, well, sociopaths will do, which is, she threatened to kill herself if he left her. She'd throw these tantrums and fits, and, that anyway, he felt, I don't know how he felt, but it could have been that he felt guilty for her, but also so extremely attracted to her because, like I said, manipulators, narcissists, sociopaths, they can do this. They can pull you back in even though you've seen their evil side. They'll convince you that it wasn't really evil. And they can convince you that they've got it under control and they'll never do that again. And you are so enticed by them that you will want to believe it. And all the while, she was stalking him like a predator. It's very, very sick. Well, another example of her narcissistic, sociopathic character came out in jail with her cellmate. It became apparent to me through this interview that she had more than just a friendship with this cellmate. They probably were romantically involved. I'm just, no accusations here, but that's just what it looks like. Well, she writes this letter and she wrote many letters to her cellmate. When the cellmate left jail, Jodi would keep in touch with her, and then the cellmate believed her for a long time, and she shared one of those letters that Jodi wrote to her, but she only was able to read a snippet of it. I wonder if you can find it somewhere else out there, probably in a book or something. But these are the kinds of things that narcissists will say to their victims, to people they're going to use, to people they need to manipulate. They'll completely convince you through words and sometimes through actions that they are completely in love with you. They love using the word, soul or soulmate. You touched my soul so deeply, things like that. And you believe it because people don't talk like this.
Tracy, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height of my soul can reach.
To the depths and breadths and heights my soul can reach? Really? I mean, this is true, though. This is the kind of stuff that narcissists, sociopaths will say to their victims. They want to capture you. They know that if they speak like this, that you're going to fall for it, because who talks like this, right? Who's going to say these types of things to most people out there? Narcissists. That's who. That's who will say these types of things. But narcissists can conjure up this type of passion at a drop of a hat. And they do it because they don't care. They don't care about you. All they care about is getting you enveloped into their fantasy world where you will now be manipulated by them, and they can take advantage of you and get you to do their bidding. And this is what her cellmate discovered soon after Jodi moved into a different prison. She just cut off all communication with that ex-cellmate.
After she was given a life sentence in 2015, Jodi Arias was transferred to state prison and abruptly cut off all communication.
This is what they do. When they move on, they move on. When you are no longer useful to them, they don't need you anymore. They don't need to contact you anymore. There's no need for them to even give you closure or say goodbye. They just leave and it's gone. And in this case, just cut off all communication because she's got plenty of people visiting her now. She's got plenty of people in a fan club that are giving to her. She's got a Twitter account. She's got, she's able to reach people to get them to do things for her on the outside world. She does not any longer need that ex-cellmate. And, take a look at this picture. You might think, oh, look at this poor plain Jane of a person. How can she possibly manipulate people? But she does. She can dress up really enticingly beautiful, and she has captured people in this way, and she can be very sexually flirty with the prison guards, and that's how she got away with keeping tattoo equipment in her, on her or with her in her cell, and they wouldn't confiscate it because she would flirt with them and probably say these types of things to them that made them feel really good about themselves. That's what narcissists do. And then when they're done, though, they're done. And they will not give you a drop or another word of encouragement or attention.
You think all this lies?
Garbage. She will use you to get what she wants, and when she's done with you, she will throw you away.
I'm glad that her ex-cellmate discovered this, figured it out, that it was all a manipulation. That's what they do. They use you and they destroy you. They get you to lay down your life for them, and then they walk away because they just don't care that you were just a pawn to them anyway. There's a picture here of a king and queen in a chess, not in a chessboard, but the king and queen from chess, and the queen's on her side. And the reason for that is because the queen is expendable. She is there to protect the king and do what she needs to do to keep the king alive. And that's the game of chess that narcissists play. You're only there for the power that you have that they can use. And when you don't have that power anymore, if you don't have those connections, if you can't do their bidding, they have no more need for you. But you are supposed to lay down your life for them so that they can get ahead, so that life is just more comfortable for them. And it's not even like they need you to do all these things for them, but they just want it. They're like, well, it just makes it easier for me, makes it life better for me. And so they use you. But you know what? Another thing that Jodi Arias did is she represented herself for a time in prison. Yeah, that's what is another clue to me why I think she's a narcissist, because they think they're the most brilliant and nobody would ever not believe them. Of course, everybody's going to believe them because, they know they're master manipulators. They know it's worked before, on so many people. So they can't see why it wouldn't work in a court of law. Of course, they're going to be able to fool the jury, the judge, all the spectators, the families that are showing up in court. Oh, yeah, they think they can fool everybody, and it's so creepy. Well, you guys, what I want to tell you about all of this is, you got firsthand look at what the kind of things they'll say to you. You got a firsthand look of how this manipulator, this narcissist, used a cellmate. You got a firsthand look at how someone could possibly fall in love with somebody they know is a horrid, ruthless killer. Yeah, I mean, you know this. So all the facts are in. You know what this person is capable of, and yet they can still manipulate you into believing. If you keep your eyes closed and you just can't imagine that they're lying to you, you're going to get hurt. So you guys, I want to warn you of this. I want you to know that there's so much more out there. Don't fall for these words. I know it feels good when they say it to you, but take a step back and try to piece together what's really going on. Look at all of the facts. Try to see the narcissist for who they really are and watch them. Watch how they behave with other people and how they use other people. It's not just those other people they're using you too. But you guys, you know what? You can come out of this. You can wake up and come out of a relationship with a narcissist and still be able to recover from it, because you don't have to hold on to them. You don't have to believe their lies anymore. You don't have to believe the manipulation. It might hurt a bit because when you come to realize what they did was use you. But you know what? They don't have to use you anymore. You don't have to let them use you anymore. And you can cut that off. And in fact, it's so you have the upper hand here, because you apparently have what they wanted or what they needed. And if you have what they wanted or needed, that means you have it. You can use that for yourself. You can do things for yourself. You can use your talents and your skills and your connections and your abilities, your ability to connect with people. That's you. That's not them. So, YouTube family and podcast family, I know that sometimes you come out of these things and you feel like they've devastated you and they've taken from you. But no, they try to use these things from you, and they may have for a time, but these things still belong to you. And you get to use them now for yourself. And you can go beyond this. You're the one who's free while they're incarcerated. They're incarcerated in their narcissistic world. Even if they're not in jail, they cannot break free of the character that they really are. They can only play certain roles for a period of time, but they cannot get away from the horrible person that's deep inside of them. But we're not that horrible person. We are actually good people. So you know what? We're more free than they ever will be. So YouTube family and podcast family, if you have liked this, please subscribe and comment and like this video. It would really help me if you would like the video, because then YouTube does their algorithm thing and gets it out there. But blessings to you. I wish you so much healing and wholeness and joy as you heal. And I know you can do this. Have a great day. Go out there and do wonderful things in this world.